another rookie who's getting not quite the same amount of buzz as George Pickens, running back Dameon Pierce of the Houston Texans, a fourth-round pick from Florida, who didn't get a whole lot of opportunities. He was there 4 years, never had more than 504 rushing yards in any one season, but last year he had 119 total touches and 16 touchdowns in those 119 touches. So this guy's special, and the Texans are seeing it. Here's Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, talking about the fact that they're not concerned about Pierce's lack of a big workload at Florida.
I think the focus was more so, and this was a decision that Nick Caserio and our personnel staff made. Just, you're looking at what players can do. All right, there's a ton of different offenses in college football, and it's hard to, at times, try and predict how a player that plays within the scheme is going to, be able to adjust and adapt to the pro game. But we do know that certain skill sets have a better chance of adapting to our game.
Talk about those skill sets, vision, foot speed, cutting ability. Are those things you think he possesses? You
said it. You knocked it out the park. Exactly, and that's what we saw the other night. Just a guy that can create his own yards, and he's a tough runner.
Yeah, look. He's currently third on the depth chart behind Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead. But you get the vibe from those comments. And Lovie Smith talked about how, it's possible to keep climbing. And, it's. I remember James Robinson a couple of years ago becoming the guy right out of the gates in Jacksonville, and he wasn't even drafted. They took Pierce in round 4. They paid him more than his slot required, screwing up the other picks around him in round 4. They believe in this guy. And, we talk all the time about how you don't have to use a first-round pick on a running back. You can snag a running back later in the draft, and he can become a star. Dameon Pierce is a guy to watch, even for a team that has been largely dysfunctional in recent years. And nothing stabilizes a team that is, in a position where it can't fight its way out of a paper bag, like having a guy who can come out and move the chains and on a consistent basis. Regardless of the quality of the blocking, he creates his own yards. That is a special attribute to have, and it can help turn a bad team around.
He was impressive in college. He was, and he'll even, he was, I think, my number 3 running back when we were ranking the running backs, only behind Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall. But he's made for the NFL. And Mike, to your point, and we've discussed this before, it's a positive that he didn't run the ball that much in Florida. It's great. Good. He's going to be ready to go, raring to go. They didn't wear his butt into the ground, so he's going to have fresh legs and be able to deliver blows here for a few years, unlike some other guys that we've seen, Leonard Fournette's of the world and some of them who have come into the league like, whoa, they got a lot of wear and tear on their tires already here. So I think that's a positive. He has some Javonte Williams-type ability that we saw kick some butt with the Denver Broncos last year. He's got incredible acceleration, and he's great at making people miss in short areas, and then he's a sledgehammer, Mike. I mean, he's the kind of guy where you go, oh, that's late in the third quarter, fourth quarter. Nobody's going to want to hit this guy. I mean, he brings the pain. And you saw that even in a few of the highlights we showed, and I don't think we showed all his runs, where he broke a few tackles getting through the line of scrimmage and that, and he's going to bring an attitude to that team. I would be shocked if he's not their guy. When he came on the field, it just looked different. It looked like the game was in fast forward compared to Marlon Mack, who's been injured a little bit the last few years. So, they might start Marlon Mack, but I bet you Dameon Pierce is the guy that gets the lion's share of the carries.
Yes, well done.
I'm on fire today. Woo!
Yes, Dameon Pierce and Davis Mills, who would have thought it? And I'd feel better if they were in the NFC. I still don't think that it's going to make a huge difference for a team that is going to have a hard time competing in the AFC. But still, there's nothing like having a great young running back that busts onto the scene. And again, I'm thinking back to 2 years ago with James Robinson. Not like he made much of a difference at all for the Jaguars. They won week 1 and then lost 15 in a row. But still, it's something the Texans haven't had for a while, and it can help make a difference.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.